go over a couple of things, but we're gonna have to dip out fairly quick. And the reason for that is we had a female victim show up at our station a couple hours ago, and she showed up with two black guys. She had been held captive by her ex, did some horrible things to her. She finally had a chance to escape today. So now we're going to go pay her friend a visit and see if we can spend Christmas in jail like he deserves. So as soon as we get done with our stuff, we're going to bounce out, and we'll probably see you guys about the community. For us this month, busy as always. There's a lot of injuries. We have 7 deputies that are out injured, 1 sergeant, and all injuries related to the violent people that we have to encounter. So I'm sure you know, but if you don't know, there's a lot of fentanyl be mixed into everything. We have a big problem with that. It's causing a lot of mental issues. It makes people extremely violent, paranoid, and we have to go deal with that. So during the process, they get superhuman strength. They don't feel pain, and we do because we don't do drugs. So we have to fight through all that. So no matter what the cause is, we figure out ways to staff levels and handle business, make sure that the public is safe, the kids are safe at school, and we continue to do so. So I'm going to talk about a couple of cases we've been working. We've been coming across, like I said, a lot of domestic violence, a lot of it, horrible things, and we track these guys down and go after them, locate them, no matter where they tried hiding, other counties, other cities, and we bring them back and we put them in jail where they belong. We've been dealing with a lot of illegal marijuana grows that we come across at large lots, a lot of them in Bloomington. We just hit one a couple weeks ago. And this stemmed from complaints from residents, business owners, a lot of other crimes, a lot of party call shootings, fights, and it boils down to illegal narcotics and the fight for that stuff. So we hit a large lot that we've asked for the assistance of code enforcement, which they've helped us before. So they're in the process of doing all their legal stuff to locate the owner and come to a final solution. The last time we hit that spot, it was at 18551 Santa Ana, and it's a large lot. It's probably like an acre and a half, and it's way too close to our elementary school. So we came up with a solid plan to make sure that the kids are safe. We went there, served the warrant. We took about 15, 20 deputies and rounded everybody up. So before that, we had done surveillance on it and figured out who was responsible for that and who we were going to pay a visit that morning to, which we did. We found them. There was 2 main ones. One was a convicted felon who had a firearm. We came across approximately 500 plants, which generates a lot of money for these guys, tax-free. We also came across a chop shop of innocent people that go to work, get their car stolen, get their catalytic converters cut off, and they take them there. They tear these cars apart and sell them off. So we were able to get members from the automotive task force, members from narcotics, our detectives, and we shut it all down. Since then, it's been mellow, but it's a matter of time before they start up there or another spot. So that's one of the main cases. And it sounds fairly simple, but it's a lot of work, The other one I'm going to talk about before I turn it over to Deputy Nunez. He's going to talk about some other stuff. We've been coming across a lot of illegal marijuana dispensaries, and you guys probably have seen them. There's one on 7th and Cedar that we paid a visit to and went over the rules of engagement that we're going to go and destroy all their doors and windows pretty soon. We don't have a set date yet. We're waiting on warrants. The other one is one that was over there on Cedar and Valley by the Farmer Boys. Had a lot of complaints there. People trying to go to lunch and the drive-through, and it's just backed up from people trying to go buy illegal narcotics and fights and problems and you name it, and it's there. So that one, we served the warrant, and I think we rounded up like, what, 15, 20 people? Arrested a bunch of them. Seized a lot of narcotics, a lot of cash. That one generates, we estimated about $100,000 per week cash. $100,000 per week. By looking at these at the illegal stuff that they sell, the packaging is geared for kids. So we have our school resource officers that are working with us so they can look for that stuff at school before these kids start overdosing from gummies and stuff like that. We've come across some new stuff that I had never seen before. These are gummies, and they're made out of mushrooms. There was a guy looking for a phone that he lost. Is that it? So anyways, that's the type of stuff we've been involved with, and it generates a lot of cash, like I said. But when they set up their shop, these are all controlled by prison gangs and street gangs, so that attracts a lot of crime. That's just a fraction of the stuff we've been involved in. Just good for you guys to know, especially if you have kids. That's what's out there now. Okay? Any questions on that type of stuff before I turn it over to Deputy Nunez? Okay.
Some of us are still in shock on that. I mean, we know what's going on. We all let you guys know when we see stuff, but 100,000 cash a week. Wow.
Yes.
And they'll do whatever they need to keep it going.
Yeah.
But we got you guys, so thank you. Please leave as soon as you can, because, yeah, take care of that issue out there.
We're trying. Yes, sir. So it's a good question. It's they get it anywhere through other kids that have older brothers and sisters that they don't check for IDs really. I mean, if they look old enough, they have cash in hand, they'll let them in.
I've seen that happening. My son came out in 2 quinceañeras recently, and you know me, being the parent that I am, just looking at the kids, just observing the kids. You don't know how much illegal drinking, underage drinking is going on, and these kids are on stuff. All these parties. I don't know how they get it, but it's out there, and it's scary because my son's 17. I had a son overdose on fentanyl already, and he died last year. So
Sorry about that.
For me, it's horrible. I see it every day, and it's scary.
Yes.
Very scary.
Yeah. And I'm very sorry about your loss. Sheriffs who carry Narcan with us, and these guys have saved a lot of lives, not just from that, but from tourniquets, CPR, horrible car accidents, you name it. They've done it. We've done it. But yeah, that's a very serious problem with the kids. So we're talking to them, and we want them to be smart enough not to make the wrong choice that can kill them. But it's out there. Any other questions? Good.
Hello, I'm Deputy Nunez. Like I said, like my sergeant was saying, we have lots of projects going on. We're being proactive, being out there, finding out where these dispensaries are, where these legal grows are at, where these chop shops, you name it. We're out there looking for these places. We're conducting extra patrol, in Bloomington right now. We're closely with the school, with all the abandoned houses right now. What else was there? Also, people going out there and stealing presents because people are, having presents delivered to their houses, and these presents are getting stolen. We're out there trying to catch these guys as well. As long as you guys call us, provide us the video, and we can work it up and find out who's stealing them. We just got one today, so we were able to return the packages and arrest the guy. So we're out there. We're being proactive, and we're doing the best we can.
Thank you and stay. Yes. I didn't see him. I'm glad you're here.
I came in a little late, so really don't have too much to report tonight. Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hopefully we'll get some rain because we haven't gotten much so far this year. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Any questions? No?
Our Earth Day as well.
Well,
Because
we
it's coincided at the
typically,
same time the last couple of years.
yeah, we typically have our own big Earth Day celebration, and so we'll probably be doing one again.
Okay.
So of course we would invite everybody to come out to ours as well, but
Yeah.
we don't have a whole lot of details yet. Still a little early.
Well, you always have food.
Yeah, last
That
year we
gets us out
had
there.
last year we had In-N-Out, and that's a big hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we can book them again, but I don't know, scheduling wise, if we've been able to secure that or not.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, I'll be around in a few minutes if anyone needs anything. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to move over to our informational presentation, which is the Lilac Avenue Truck Maintenance Project. Maria Kennedy is going to be the presenter. Thank you. So just go ahead and speak into the microphone, because the microphone is how those watching on YouTube on our live stream can hear you.
Can you hear me? It's Maria Kennedy, and I'm a consultant on this project. Ed Bondeman is here with me, and he's the engineer on this project, and we'll kind of tag team on it. I'll talk about the community project. So in front of you, you should have the PowerPoint presentation that we created. So the second page, you have the project site.
Maria, give it just a second. We're going to go ahead and pull it up
Okay.
as well.
So this is the project, the Lilac Truck Trailer Maintenance Facility. It's on Harupa and Lilac here in the community of Bloomington. And the next slide will show you the site plan. Well, no, that's the project in the community of Bloomington. So I'm going to turn it over to Ed, and then I'll pick up with the community outreach we have performed.
Good evening. My name is Ed Bondeman with Joseph E. Bondeman and Associates. We're putting together the base mapping and the site plan on this. I've got 3 full-size copies. Would you like me to lay them out for you so you guys have something easier to see? Or would you like that? So this site was used for truck repair for a number of years, and we were approached by the owner at that time, and they wanted to do a new improved site. And there were a couple old canopies that are there currently. They'll be demolished. There's an existing house on the northwest corner, and that house will be retrofitted to be an office. Continue most likely to come in still off of Lilac. There is some access coordination with Oakmont, who owns all the property to the but historically this property has gained access south of Harupa, directly from the southerly extension of Lilac. We propose a 15,000 square foot pre-engineered building for the facility, and right just truck, no trailers. So that's how it'll be, is just trucks and truck maintenance. Sure, next slide, that'd be great. So this is currently being processed through San Bernardino County Planning. We've got some draft conditions. Going to have a lot of offsite improvements on Harupa, most likely on Lilac also. It's not, it hasn't completely decided how we're going to finish Lilac. This plan that you see shows a cul-de-sac at the end. It may still be like that, but we're not sure yet. We're still going through some of the back. Some of the big improvements this site is, other than providing jobs, there'll be additional landscaping. Will be typically you get conditioned to grind and overlay to center line. So you have street improvements, pavement improvements on Harupa, street lights, things like that. The county probably benefit from some additional tax base and legal facility. Bloomington, in the last few years, we've done a lot of projects to give you legal facilities. So this will be a legal facility. It'll have water quality management plan. They'll have to deal with any spills. They have to do everything correctly per county requirement. So it's not a real big job. It's a nice project. I think it's probably a benefit for the community of Bloomington. Maybe next slide. So I'll let Maria take it from here.
So what we did is a mailing in English and Spanish was sent to the residents within a 1,000-foot radius in September of 2020. We were only required to do 500-foot radius, but I went ahead and did a 1,000-foot radius, so I would be ensured that residents knew about the project, and I was able to get more, feedback from the residents. I only had a response, and that was a gentleman who wanted his facility to be included in this project, but that was impossible. So the feedback that I've gotten from mailing, we did have a community meeting, and we didn't have any residents come to it. So with this, when the residents don't call or they don't contact me, it's because they're comfortable with the project, because I always give them my contact information, both my cell phone and my email, and I didn't get any responses from the residents. Next slide, please. And there's my contact information in case you have any questions. So I will defer to questions from the MAC at this point.
Questions, because he'll pick up what we don't have, right? You're going to ask the questions that we didn't. Teresa.
Because I did send Gary an email and I never had a response, so I've been working through the supervisor's office. Yes, and I will provide that to the supervisor. Yeah, I will provide the supervisor with the mailing list, but it's a comprehensive list of 1,000-foot radius. And like I said, the county only requires 500 feet, and I went to 1,000 feet.
And then the person that asked about their facility, was that was the business then? That
Yes.
asked that their project be included, that it be
Yes.
included? Okay.
And then I'm curious, from what other businesses have you legalized in Bloomington? Assisted
Right
with
now,
that?
we're doing McKinney Trailer across from Cedar Village Mobile Home Park and above Cedar House. That's a pretty good sized project. That'll get a benefit of a signalized intersection for Cedar Village, so they're pretty happy about that one. I worked on, let's see, what else in Bloomington? That's probably the, so next to the west of this one is we did a zone change for trailer parking. It never was built. It will probably be changed into possibly a battery backup for energy, for grid storage. That might happen. So we did that, the one to the west. What else did I do in Bloomington? I'll think about it, and if I remember one, I'll get back to you. But McKinney Trailers probably. Oh, also did the on Slover and Cedar. We just redid that commercial site for multiple commercial venues, gas station, food restaurants, that type of thing. It's southeast corner.
That's a
Cedar
Shonda
Slover.
project?
Yeah, it was a county property. It went to David Weiner.
And I can comment on that one. When I did the community outreach for that, one of the things that I noticed, there's no retail in that area. So the closest retail is the Renaissance Parkway, which is like 2 miles north. And I put myself in the shoes of someone who doesn't have a car, because not everybody has a car. And it would take 3 hours by bus, because I did the analysis of having someone from that area take a bus to the Renaissance Parkway, and it was between 2 and 3 hours by bus. And because there's no direct line to the Renaissance Parkway, it's circuitous, because of course they're trying to pick up as many people as possible. And that's why I thought that project was going to benefit that community, because there's no retail down there.
We like it that way, actually. It's just a fact. The community prefers not to have. But yeah, I'm familiar with that particular project. I was at the community meeting as well, and the residents are not very happy with it.
Got it. And I'm also working on the new animal shelter at the old Ayala Park, which is a pretty fun job for the community.
For last. Good amount of time and some traffic issues in that area. There's street and pavement improvements going on in there. Can you explain that a little bit more, please?
So the county typical conditions of approval, we're required to do frontage improvements. So frontage improvements include, based on how bad the pavement is, from a grind and overlay to a full removal and replacement. So really it's up to transportation to give us that condition for Harupa, and then curb, gutter, stock, street lights, landscaping, fencing, that type of thing.
That stretch will stay the 2-lane with all the more big rigs coming through there.
It's widened, and we'll have to give a dedication. So it's 30 foot now, and it'll be 52. You'll have a dedicated frontage.
So it will be widened?
Of course.
Okay. Explain what a pre-engineered building is. I'm thinking like a modular.
No, it's a metal building. The metal building is so 1980s. So pre-engineered buildings, because I do a lot of work for the diocese, Every new church we do is a pre-engineered building. You wouldn't even know it was a metal building. But they work great because the square footage cost is reasonable and you can make it look any way you want. So McKinney on Cedar, that's a pre-engineered metal building. It's a beautiful building. A lot of different colors and textures and architectural features. So it's really up to planning how they'll make us sort of make
Make it
pretty this one up. Yeah, most of the times when they're closer to the street, they get a little bit more architectural features. When they're a little bit set back, if it's more of like a maintenance or a shop building like this one, a little bit less. But it's really up to county planning.
Okay. So mailing in Spanish and English was sent to the residents. Was it sent to the address of the property itself or to the homeowners?
It was done by an APN search, so that is the property owners.
So it'll be the owners, not the residents. So,
That's correct.
so then that should be that a mailing in Spanish and English was sent to the property owners, regardless of who lives there.
Yes.
Okay. So that's one thing that's really important in our community because there are a lot of renters, and it would be nice as a renter to know who's moving in, who's not, what's going on. A lot of the property owners aren't even in the state. Many are not even in the country. So you wouldn't have gotten a lot of response because of that, particularly in that particular area. Like I said, I know it very well. I live right there. So I know what it's like. So thank you for taking the extra step of the 1,000-foot radius. But too bad it wasn't sent to the actual addresses that were there as well.
I think part of it is the reason the mailings go typically to the owners because it affects their property.
Well, of course.
And so
but
that's why, most outreach, and I've done outreach all over the state of California. You could Google my name. I specialize in disadvantaged communities. I grew up in one in East Los Angeles. I went to Garfield High School. So I'm very familiar with these communities. But at the first cut, you have to let the property owner know. And I will be talking to the client to see if they're willing to have me do a second mailing that will go to the addresses, and some of them will, that will pick up the renters, but typically because it affects the property, we have to notify the property owner. But I will talk to
yeah, we'd like to request that if possible. It's not required. I mean, we don't have the power to require anything like that whatsoever. But we can ask as a community, can you let the residents know as well as the property owners? Of course, the property owners have to know. That's important. As you said, it affects the property value, it affects the property itself, but also the residents. The residents really need to know as well. So if you can do that, that would make our community happy to at least have that notification. And
No,
you may
definitely.
get more community involvement at your meetings because the ones who actually live there may show up.
Yeah, and we have really good donuts too. The property owner went to the extent of getting donuts from a fancy donut shop in La Puente, and I'm very familiar with that donut shop, having worked in that area as well.
Well, we didn't have dessert here.
We should have brought you some
That's okay.
donuts. But no,
thank you.
I recognize what you're saying is, like I said, I will make the request. Obviously, I'm the consultant, so I can't make a demand, but I think I can make a strong suggestion that we do that and to include more of the residents. But that'll probably answer your question as to why the people didn't know about the mailing, and it's probably because they were renters. And I work in communities that are mostly renters in Southeast Los Angeles. So I always have to let the property owner know. But then usually I follow up and interact with the renters on a one-to-one basis, because a lot of times what I'll do is pass out the flyers, in person and knock on their door, and that gives me a chance to interact with people.
And, we do ask you these difficult questions at times because the community members will reach out to us later, why didn't you ask this? Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? So we ask those questions so that we can communicate with our community, those concerns.
No, I don't have a problem with questions. I mean, if I didn't believe in the project, I wouldn't have taken it.
Do you have any questions, Anna? Okay, Gary, you are up.
Okay, thank you. Probably most of my questions are going to be along the technical side, but so the information is honestly, a little scant at this point. So what relationship does Cortez Property Management have? Are they the operator, or are they just the owner of the property?
They're the owner.
Okay, so they're the owner of the property.
Yes, sir.
So do they have an operator?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, they must obviously have a plan here. I would
wouldn't
think that they,
Yeah, I would guess they would have, I wouldn't speculate on something like this. So I would think they have somebody.
okay. So what hours of operation are we talking about?
It's in our justification letter. I don't remember. It's Monday through, it's not odd hours. It's Monday through Friday or Saturday, 7 to 5. I mean, it's typical work hours. It's a maintenance facility.
Okay, so Ed, can you tell us, is this going to be one company?
I don't know. I don't know again.
Okay, well, it's being described as a maintenance facility.
Mm-hmm. It's small. I wouldn't think it would be more than one user. It's not very big.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is somebody would seem like somebody's going to run this thing. I would imagine that the property manager would have some type of an idea, because how could you design something if you don't know who the user is or what the goal of the project is?
I agree. Mm-hmm. Are you asking?
So you don't know that information?
No, I mean, this is just, it's a maintenance facility. It's got bays, and I mean, it got an office. It'll be,
Okay,
they have a tenant improvement on it.
Well, what I'm getting at, is this open for anybody, or is this going to be one particular company that's going to move in there, or you don't know?
I don't know. Again, if I were to own this and I was hiring someone to do it, I would, because it's so specific, it wouldn't be like a spec building. It's very specific for this maintenance facility. So I would say that they have somebody in mind.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree. Yeah, I think they have somebody in mind for this. Yeah.
There's a layout and a design, and so the question is you know, is this going to be open to the public? Is this for a specific company? I know the previous
It's a
owner.
one user. I mean, the way it's designed, it's for a one user.
Okay, because the previous owner of the property was a FedEx subcontractor.
Mm-hmm. Augie.
So okay.
Mhm.
So do you guys have you done a traffic impact analysis yet?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Initial study, traffic,
Okay.
everything's
And
into the
do
county.
you have that available, or how many truck trips a day are we talking about?
No, but if you want, I can send it to you. I don't know. Again, they're the rigs coming in for maintenance. So it's not similar to a facility where you're going to have a rig and a trailer come in and drop stuff off. So it's really, the trips per day is not that heavy on this one.
Okay.
But I can certainly send it to you.
Okay, can you tell us how many truck parking spaces you have?
If you look in the bottom middle where it says parking and analysis, there's
Okay, we have 50.
There's 50. Mhm.
50 spaces?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that would seem to be quite a bit more than you would be maintaining, maintenance.
Well, they come in. It's just like if you take your car in. I mean, sometimes they don't fix it the same day. You have parking. They stay there for a week or so until they get to it, and then they're done with one. It sits there until they pick it up. I mean, I would assume that's.
Because I'm just trying to, what I'm trying to get at is I'm trying to understand what the operation is all about, so we can get a better idea of
It's
the traffic flow. And
sure.
you know.
It's a tractor needs some work. They bring it in. They work on it. It stays there. You pay your bill and you come pick it up. I mean,
Okay.
that's
Because okay, let me approach it this way.
sure.
If you've got 50 truck parking spaces there,
Yep.
the question is, you're saying there's going to be 50 trucks sitting there waiting to be maintained. They're not going to be coming and going off and on site on a daily basis. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, no, you'll have trips per day, but it's not going to be 50 trucks. I mean, it's going to be whatever's coming in or leaving that day. And again, I can give you the number. I would think the trips per day on something like this is probably more like between passenger cars and the rigs, you're probably 30 trips per day, 40 trips per day. I mean, it's not going to be very big.
Okay. All right. And on the landscaping, what percentage of landscaping do you have on the parcel?
If you look at the bottom, there's a parcel coverage. It's almost 16%.
Did I miss 15%?
It's 15.49%. So I said it's
Okay.
almost 16%. It's
right,
over the required.
That's a
percentage.
good number. Okay. And how many, do you have any idea, how many, you mentioned jobs, how many jobs are going to be created by this?
I don't know, but there will be jobs created.
Okay. And are you going to be improving Lilac? Is that going to be paved as well as part of the project?
It's not known yet. We're still coordinating with Oakmont to the south and Nasir, the other owner, to the west on how that's going to work. It's very possible that we will have a paved entrance for Lilac in the 30-foot wide. What's that?
Entrance for the trucks is on Lilac, not Harupa? Or is there any
It's-
entrances on
it's-
Harupa
We
whatsoever?
want to keep it on Lilac. Right now, the county wants us to move it to Harupa. So if you don't like that, let the county know. And we don't like it either.
We don't like that, period. Just,
No.
you can note that we don't want entrance
You
on
don't
Harupa,
want, you don't want
period.
entrance on Harupa. So this property historically has always entered right about where we have the driveway off of Lilac. And it's always had a Lilac address, 11317 Lilac. The problem is there was a 30-foot strip of property there that changed hands at some point in time, and Oakmont bought it. So now there is a agreement between our owner and Oakmont that they can absolutely come in off of Lilac in the 30-foot wide. However, we're going back and forth with transportation to see if they will allow us to use that 30 feet without further improvements on Lilac, because it's technically a private road. Lilac south of Harupa is all private property. So it would be a private driveway or private road. So hopefully we get it all worked out with transportation and we can leave the driveways where they are, because Lilac and Harupa is a controlled intersection. And it's just a lot safer.
Does the property owner own Lilac, that area for the street? You said it's private?
They have an agreement. They have a license with.
So they have basically an easement. Is that correct?
It's an easement. The deal is, the owner had prescriptive rights. Well, he started to sue them for his prescriptive rights, and they say, hey, we don't want to go through that. We'll give you a license. So it's an easement.
Okay. Ed, on the lighting, is that going to be undergrounded?
The lighting?
You said you're going to put in street lighting on the perimeter. Is that correct?
Well, yeah,
When you said lighting, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so there'll be on-site lights and there'll be off-site lights based on county requirements for off-site lights. I think we'll probably end up with 2, I would guess.
Okay.
They haven't conditioned it yet.
And okay, and then you mentioned tax base, and other than property tax, what do you envision this property generating?
I'd be the main tax base. It would be an improved property. It'll be millions of dollar type property tax base. Yeah.
So, and that kind of goes back to my original questions about what this operation is, because if it was, a facility where it was open to the public, they would be charging for these maintenance services, which would be generating revenue.
And that could be also, I don't know.
But we don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. A lot of unanswered questions at this point.
Well, it's just, again, it's a tractor maintenance facility. We know it'll generate generate jobs. We know it'll generate additional taxes. To what extent, it's not known. It's been used as a facility to do basically the exact same thing illegally for a number of years. And so making it legal, I think, would be in the best interest of the county.
Okay. And that, that kind of brings me to, I guess, my concerns. This area, a lot of it, as you're correct, it's already gone to a lot of illegal uses. And east of Cactus on Yoruba is probably the only area that personally I would even entertain a project like this in Bloomington, because in reality, it's pretty much all gone industrial now, other than some residential on the north side of the street. But I also have to tell you, I'm concerned. This property has been operating for years, and it's not the only one. But here's what happens. Somebody says, "Well, I'm working with county." Oh, so we're going to let you stay and operate illegally for another 10 years while you try to do something.
Yep.
And if this thing moves forward, I'd like to see some type of condition where it has to be done in a certain amount of time. In Colton, where I'm a planning commissioner, we had a situation similar to this, and we actually made the company move off the property until they got everything permitted and move forward, because anybody can go in there and say, "Well, I'm working with the county, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." It's going on all over Bloomington, on Slover and Laurel, right down from high school. We've got a mess down there that's been operating illegally for years. Every time I ask about it, well, they're in process, they're looking into it, whatever have you. And as you're aware, I mean, you're in the business, conditions of approval are worthless if you can't enforce them. And so, I don't know how fast, if this is approved, how fast somebody's going to do something. But it just seems like, and I understand you're just representing, you're not representing the here as the owner. I get that. So there's things that you can't answer, but those are of concern to the community. How many trucks are going to come in and out of this place? How many are there going to be? When I see there's going to be 27 cars and 50 truck spaces, what it tells me is there's going to be activity in and out of there all day like there is now. And yeah, they can do maintenance as part of their operation, but that's kind of what I see when I look at this. I see it's going to be that type of a facility, and I see that it's going to generate quite a bit of traffic. The good news is that the traffic hopefully would go eastbound on Yoruba and leave Bloomington, not go through the residential neighborhoods that we deal with all the time. North would be west on Yoruba past Cactus, which is not a truck route, nor is Cactus northbound. And those of us that live in that part of Bloomington, we deal with those situations all the time, particularly from FedEx, who pays absolutely no attention to us. They're a Rialto facility, and they seem to care less about Bloomington, but that's another story. But
Understood.
these are the type of things that we deal with, where people get concerned about these types of things. So, I'm all for legitimizing illegal truck yards. But the other thing is, and I have to mention it, I know we've got friends here from the environmental justice community, and that's one of my concerns about truck traffic, because as you know, people are very concerned about the 2.5 PM from diesel trucking, and they're concerned the amount of truck traffic that goes through Bloomington. And honestly, I don't see a lot of difference between an operation like this and a warehouse, other than a warehouse has a concrete box on it, but it's still generating truck traffic, and it's generating diesel truck emissions. And I think I've been a proponent in the past of looking for the county and the city of Colton, where I'm at, to get some kind of community benefits from these types of projects in the form of something.
Absolutely.
Whether it's by the space or what the calculation would
They
be.
should have been doing it. They should have been doing it 10 years ago. Yeah, I completely agree with
Yeah,
you.
and-
And I have
and,
so many clients that would have, and I have clients who had a project, for instance, in San Bernardino 10 years ago, and pushing it. Hey, you should be charging this. The city never did it. You know who's doing it? Is Paris.
Yeah,
Paris is charging a ton of money.
yes, they are.
Okay, and they're almost, and they are charging a ton of money.
Yeah,
I will tell you that.
and it is, Ed, this is all part and parcel of the logistics industry.
Of course.
And it's a necessary part. And unfortunately, I think years ago, when the logistics started, they wanted the biggest footprint they could, and a lot of these projects never put enough parking. So you have trucks queuing all over town,
Sure.
trucks parking in everybody's
Mhm.
backyard,
Yep.
all the things that we deal with in
Yep.
Bloomington, trucks next to schools, trucks next to
Mhm.
homes. I have them next to my house.
Yep.
And, it's a concern. And so, I'm all for legitimizing trucks parking facilities. But as part of that, I think the community deserves to get some type of community benefits because quite frankly, the jobs are going to be minimal because the truckers are already got the truck. So that's not a job. And you're going to have a few bays and there's not, from the sound of things, there's not going to be any sales tax or commerce generated. So, I kind of, as a member of the community that's lived here for 45 years ago, like, I'm thinking, well, what's in this for us?
Mhm.
And so those are kind of the purpose of my
Understood.
questions. And
Yep.
I'm not trying to be hardcore or anything, but
No, I get it. We just try to follow the rules that are laid out in front of us.
Right.
Property rights, zoning rights, development code rights. That's what we follow.
because this is rezoned property, right? You're going to rezone the property.
Correct. The
from
general plan
currently-
has its IC. Mhm.
Right. Okay. It's going to be rezoned to light industrial. Is that correct?
Light industrial. It
Light
will be
industrial.
light,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So it's going to
To follow the
require
general plan.
rezoning.
to follow the general plan. Residential.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I have a little personal interest in this property because the two owners ago, the older gentleman that owned it was a good friend of my father's. He has antique cars,
Mhm.
and I spent a lot of time on that property, probably 20, 25 years ago. So I'm real
Got it.
familiar with the
Got it.
property and the old chicken coop buildings that were on
Got
it a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Augie when he bought it, he did a lot of remodeling, and once again, he told us for 5 years he's going to
I
work
know.
with the county,
I know.
and so that's kind of where I'm coming from on the whole thing.
That's-
So thank you.
Completely understood.
I just wanted to add one thing about community benefits. You talked about Paris. So I was the consultant on the Enchanted Heights sewer project for the city of Paris. And that was a $15 million septic to sewer conversion that I did. And because of that infrastructure improvement, the city of Paris was able to put a park in that community in a park poor area. So one of the things that I pride myself on is that I always try to find a benefit for the community. And so had I not done that sewer project, they would have never gotten that park, and that's a park poor area.
Right, Elaine, thank you. And that's kind of where that I'm coming from. And I think our MAC members, we undertook allowing a couple of big industrial projects to come in because we needed revenue into the community so we could afford more public safety. We've gotten a lot of infrastructure. We're getting a lot of infrastructure improvements. And I'm glad you mentioned sewer because that was a question I had and I didn't mention it. Is this going to be on sewer or are you running sewer to your property or?
This is, we don't have sewer within 200 feet septic.
Okay.
And just for the record, I am working on sewer projects for the county. But one of the challenges is, as someone who gets money from Sacramento, I work with the State Water Resources Control Board very closely every day. As you know, the state has a deficit. So the money is not going to be flowing as readily as it was in the past. And I've done a lot of drinking water projects, including wellhead treatment in the city of Maywood. And you could Google all of this and you'll see what I've done. So one of the things with these projects, I see the benefit is you have the public-private partnership that allows the community to get infrastructure that they may not otherwise get.
Right, and
Like
that's important because as a planner, most people don't realize that infrastructure improvements typically don't come from government. They come from one or two sets of hands, either the development business community or they come from the residents' pocket. And typically, even though the residents want these services, they don't want to pay or they can't afford to pay. So it's incumbent on us to get the development community to pitch in and make these improvements that the community desperately wants and needs to do. And that's kind of what I try to do. And, at some point, water quality control in Sacramento is going to be looking to mandate that Bloomington eventually go to sewer like they did.
I will guarantee you, I work in that arena and I've been advocating against it until we can do it in a way that doesn't shock the consumer's pocketbook.
Yeah,
because as you know, those projects are in the millions.
right, because they required that, in Yucca Valley. And we've been, pushing hard on these industrial projects to deliver sewer to certain areas of the community so we can build on less than half-acre lots, because right now there's absolutely no demand for half-acre lot residential and in the development community. And, as you know, the state of California is pushing hard for higher density housing and that type of thing. And, when you get more rooftops, that's when you get more commercial. And the communities also, they're really crying out for more retail establishments, and more restaurants and a little nicer upgraded things other than fast food places and convenience stores. So
Yeah,
anyways,
so I am cognizant of all those concerns, and when I'm able to, I do advocate for that.
You mentioned community benefits and you mentioned Paris, and that you said when you go into the communities, you always try to find things for them. But I don't really see that anything, I feel like it's kind of bare bones right here, that there wasn't anything that you really worked on to bring to Bloomington as a benefit for this project.
Well, the difference with this is a private development. The project in Paris was funded by the State Water Resources Control Board, and it was a partnership of 5 agencies. So at that time, that's when Obama's stimulus program, the ARPA funds were available. So we were able to avail ourselves of that to bring in that sewer. And then with the sewer, we were able to get the park. And again, that was with public money. So it's different when you have a private development. This is not a very large project.
Right, but even when you have a private development, I mean, I would think it would still be a suggestion you would bring to that developer, like, hey, what could we bring to Bloomington, in addition to, I mean, a few
It's-
jobs.
Understood. It's 2.4 acres. It's a teeny tiny, if every 1 acre project I did more than its frontage improvements, I don't know how it would be sustainable, but that's what they do. I mean, we're required to do frontage improvements and streetlights, repaving. I mean, it's about what a 2.5 acre project can sustain. I don't see anything further than that, and the items that we identified. Honestly, I mean, it's small. If it was
And
22 acres, it'd be different. You know
What-
what I mean?
what is this proposed underground infiltration system?
The state of California in 2005 required that projects had to maintain their stormwater runoff. And so that is a underground chamber system. So the water will be treated, oil water separators, filters then go into that, percolate in the ground. It's a state requirement.
And I can talk a lot about this because I work in water. So in Los Angeles, we have Measure W, which is a parcel tax. On every parcel in the county of Los Angeles, they pay a tax for stormwater capture. And that's able to generate a lot of stormwater projects. Full disclosure, I'm a consultant with Cal Poly Pomona on stormwater. We don't have that here. So the fact that that condition is there of having that stormwater basin that's on the developer, that's huge. Because the other alternative is we'll do a parcel tax, just like they do in LA, and that's going to negatively impact disadvantaged communities. So these projects are all a balancing act. Because I work statewide, so I see what happens throughout the state. And in Los Angeles, they have that parcel tax, and that's one of the reasons probably why the rents are so high. Because the property owner puts that surcharge, sort of to speak, on the rent. So I'm thrilled with that detention basin. I think it's great because we'll do stormwater capture, which helps us meet our NPDES permit that the county is on the hook for. So I'm thrilled.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweaters.
Okay, before I let you, I need to know, is anybody else a question of the developer? We have 3 that want questions with the developer. As long as there are questions, okay. Directly. What you got?
There's over 200 there now. And that's on Valley Forge.
I'm not familiar with that, so I can't answer on that, but yeah.
They put a truck terminal there. Are they gonna let 200 trucks park there the same way? All the neighbors and all the churches and all the schools is right there.
Exactly. And that's one concern that we will share with Supervisor Baca's office, definitely. Thank you. You raise your hand, sir. Quick question. Oh. So the question that he has is, it's mentioned in here that there would be jobs available. And so this gentleman is asking what type of jobs?
This type of facility, I would assume there would be you have, bookkeeping, office folks, coordinators, that type of thing.
Do you know if there will be any
Probably
local
probably
preferences?
Mechanics. What's that?
Do you know if there would be any preference?
I don't.
Okay.
No, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. It could and could not, so we're not sure. We don't know the answer either way on that one. Go for it. Go ahead and say the question. I'll repeat it here.
Why isn't the developer disclosing
Oh,
it seems like you know who it is, but you said that this is being known specifically for
okay. I'm going to repeat it in here so everybody, whoever's online can hear. So why you're not disclosing who the tenant is, do you know that or do you not know that or?
We don't know.
Okay. Okay. And that's one question that we had as well. Gary, you had another question?
Just to wrap it up, Jessica, and our applicants, the questions that we asked, the MAC asked that you didn't have the answers to, can you get the answers to them and get them to our staff so we can be informed and exactly what this is? Because I'm still not quite sure what exactly operation we're dealing with here, and I think it does make a difference. So if you guys could get that information to supervisor staff, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Just as a rule of thumb, the smaller the community questions we have and the more we're going to be involved.
I've done this since I was very young. I'm fully aware. Yep.
Thank you.
Very much. Okay, we are going to move on. Joaquin, were you done? Did you have any other questions? Okay, thank you. We are going to move on to approval of the minutes, and this month we do have two months. October, we didn't submit it last year, or I'm sorry, we didn't submit the minutes, or we didn't vote on the minutes last time because we did not have a quorum for minutes because I wasn't at the October meeting, so I couldn't vote on that. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes for October 4th of this year? As is, we would like to put on there who was present and who wasn't, because the October meeting, I was not present and Stephanie Santoyo was not present. So that's the only thing that we would. Okay. Yeah, and we have that for the November one, because remember, we have 2 minutes right here. So Teresa made a motion to approve the October 4th minute, but we do need to just adjust who was there and who wasn't. Any second? And then, so the 3 of you can vote to approve, all in favor, aye? Okay, nobody opposed. So the agenda, the minutes for October have been passed, and now do we have a motion to approve the November minutes? Gary, you were there. You want to? Okay, and then I will second it because I was the other one here. So Anna was not, you were not. So we don't have a quorum to approve the November minutes. So we'll bring those back in February, yes, because Gary and I, we will. So me, Gary, and Angela were the three who were here at the November meeting. So we will hold off on approving those minutes until the next time. And I lost track of my agenda. Here we go. Okay, next is public comment, and I have a few here. So public comment, remember, if you can come directly to the podium, address the MAC, and you will have 3 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and call Dave Jane first. That way Miss Pat can take her time getting up to the podium. You'll be right after Mr. Jane. So we have our, you guys will be doing the timer first, please. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, MAC board, thank you for all you do. My concern is in Bloomington is this center right here that we have for seniors and fair housing project. We need to get a survey. According to some of my sources, we had a few business guys, 3 or 4 businesses in town came applied and told them they were not qualified, and their family members are living in a house. There's 4 families living in one house, and they were businessmen in this town and business ladies. They used to own Michael's Donuts, Dick's Auto Parts, a booking company, and Angeles. Okay, and they're Bloomington residents. We need to find out because they'd like to get in a place by themselves, but they're living in a house with 4 of them there right now, because their husbands have died or their wives have passed away. But this is a community, and we're going to build another high rise here. We're building another one, and the people need to have a place to help. If you live here, you should be able to go there and apply. But we're coming from Los Angeles, and why? Not you guys' fault. That's not your guys' fault. It's our county's fault of bringing these people in. I mean, hey, we've had killings over here. We've had murders over here. We've had burglars over here. The seniors are scared to death over here because they have no communication with any. We got to figure out what we're going to do to protect these people here. Okay. I just want to let you know, we need a survey. We need to knock on their door and find out where they came from. Where'd they first live at? Got to be from Joe Baca's office, or got to be somebody from the county. You guys have tried. Everybody's tried. But if they sit there and come to some of these MAC meetings, that I've been coming here for a long time, and I speak up, and people get mad at me because I speak up and tell the truth. But I want people to know that this is a community area of Bloomington people, and that's why we got them. You guys know we need to do something. Thank you.
Thank you.
You invite those people to come to the meeting so that they can talk with us? Well, I mean, we would like to find out why they're getting turned down. I mean, maybe if they came to the meeting, we can speak to them, So it really doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they're from Los Angeles or Bloomington. Well, that's different. Mhm. Well, I mean, if they don't meet the guidelines, it's different than just saying that they're not getting approved because they're not from LA.
I think it's a bit bigger issue than us right now. But we'll take this and we'll, Supervisor Baca's office. Thank you. Ms. Pat?
Hi, my name is Pat Holloway. I want to express the fact that on November the 19th, we was passing out food across Valley Boulevard. And there were elderly people trying to get across the street from this building. There's no walkway there. And a couple of them almost got hit. And Teresa, you were there, so you know what I'm talking about. We need a crossway for those people to be able to get across the street. Somebody's going to get hurt. And I hope it's not me. I don't live here, but I want to look out for other people who do live there. So somebody please look into it and find out why they don't have a crosswalk there.
Well, not to be rude, but Angela sent me some pictures of exactly what you're talking about. Somebody trying to cross the street right here in front of the library, and there is no crosswalk there whatsoever. So I'll forward those pictures to your office so you could see that.
Yeah, Angela actually sent
did
them
she?
over, so we are inquiring with our public works so we can look into doing the sidewalk on that or a crosswalk. So as soon as I have an update, I'll be sure to provide that to you guys.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Pat.
So you know, the other concern was after speaking with people that were actually there when that happened, there is actually Colton Joint Unified School District bus stop on that side. And those children come over here as well to, you know, this apartment complex.
Thank you for the additional information.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mac. Thank you for your time today, and I really appreciate the questions y'all have developed. It's you're really taking into account the impacts to the community and what benefits they will bring. I kind of got a feel of this developer as the one for the cold storage project, where a lot of questions are unanswered, a lot of things are not clear. And I think it's obvious that we don't want those type of businesses in our community, right? Especially with businesses that will further the cumulative impact that we already are facing with all the truck traffic and pollution that our community are facing, the degradation of our roads, and the just the unclearness of it all. Not knowing what company is going to be there, what how they will operate, who they will hire. These are questions that the community wants to know and that they deserve to know, especially when these companies are of high impact, to these places that have homes close by. And, I suggest that the MAC, push the developer to have another community meeting with actual meaningful engagement where actual community members in the area show up and voice their concerns, questions, doubts about this project, because it seems like not a lot of people knew, and if they knew, they probably would have shown up. But besides that, thank you so much for all the questions you were asking, and I hope that the developer feels pressured to answer those questions and to follow up and not leave the community empty-handed. Just I would like to continue pushing for community benefit agreements for everyone in the surrounding area of Jurupa and Lilac and Cactus. They are already facing some of the hardest impacts because of the connection to Rialto, having so many trucks come by that area. And there definitely needs to be more studies on the impacts that this project will have, and just the impacts that are already existing, and adding on to that, how that will affect the community. Thank you.
So no more public comments. You could address it in the MAC reports. Approval of minutes is done. Public comment is done. It's closed. Discussion of items, old business. Do we have any old business to discuss right now? I don't think we have any old business right now. No. Do we have any new business to review or go over? Oh, just that, yeah, we will be dark in January, so no meeting in January, everybody? Or is it just going to be put onto the website?
It's on the website, and it's also, I know we had previously printed on the back of one of the agendas, but I'll make sure that for the February meeting, we have extra copies for people to take with them.
It just helps. It's nice to put
Yeah,
up.
and
Thank
then
you.
on the back of the agenda, also, it does state at least the upcoming next meetings. I don't believe it's on your copy, but we
Okay.
do have it for theirs.
That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Of course.
So no new business, community events. You talked about the Santa on the 14th. So we have that information. Do we have any other community events coming up in December? Okay. March 23rd. So March 23rd is, what is the event? Okay, Swiss rodeo. Okay.
Especially, what do they call them? They ride on horseback.
SBVR event. Okay. The community
Can I
events.
speak for Angela real quick?
Huh? Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Angela McLean from Olive Branch is not here today, but I would like to just touch basis on some of her events. This past weekend, we had a senior Christmas party that was very successful. We had a lot, probably more than half of the residents that actually were not registered show up. So we had a little bit over 150 senior citizens here, where we provided a meal for them of prime rib ham, turkey. We had raffles. There was dancing. We had Renee Alexander Photography here taking pictures. Israel's daughter, she was here DJing. It was very nice. A lot of compliments. And we have a great need and desire for more events for our senior citizens. So if you can think of anything or maybe assist with any type of donation, Angela is trying to work on doing bingo here for them because that was a top request that they would like to see. So there's that. On Tuesday, the spots are filled, but she's going to be having casas and cocoa, which the children will be decorating gingerbread houses and having hot chocolate at the Olive Branch. Thursday, the 14th, we will be doing, the Olive Branch has changed things this year. So instead of having their annual Christmas toy giveaway, they chose and adopted a school, which is Zimmerman Elementary, and they will be passing out toys to the entire school on the 14th. Other than that, I believe she'll be taking some time off until the new year after that event, and at which time she can let you guys know the next events that are upcoming. As far as Little League, we are taking registration right now. We are using Olive Branch Trailer. We will be doing it next Tuesday and Wednesday, and our opening day is March 8th. That's it.
Yeah, honestly, the event on Friday night was pretty amazing. She said, yeah, we had prime rib and ham and turkey. There was roasted potatoes and green beans and salad and corn and stuffing and all kinds of other stuff. The seniors really enjoyed it. There was so much dancing here. I think even Supervisor Baca was out there dancing the cumbia. That was pretty fun. But it was a great event. There was a lot of community members who donated and who were involved. So thank you all who donated, who were involved, and those who showed up. It was a lot of fun. And I think all those seniors got to take a good sized plate home. Angela bought some to-go boxes, and people, it was a really cool event. Something that is just inspiring and nice to see in our community. Just loving upon our elderly community. That was pretty cool. Community events are done. MAC reports. Let's just go down the line.
Okay. So I actually had, oh, they left, huh? They did. They left. Okay. So I guess I don't have that question. Are you with that developer? What was that question? My goodness.
If you don't have the answer, you can come back and let Supervisor Baca's office know.
I would like them to also find out, so we did have a discussion about using the lilac entrance, and they mentioned the fact that they have an agreement, so to speak. So let's say the project gets approved, let's say that that owner sells that property now. So what is their plan if the new owner that comes in says, no, you cannot use our shared driveway? What plan would they have in place if they were now instructed to go down to like the Harupa exit? You understand what I'm saying? Oh, it is? Even if they sell the property? Okay.
You said it's an irrevocable license agreement that regardless if it's sold or not, that still stays in place. Okay.
Okay. That was my question. Other than that, I have nothing else. Thank you, everybody that did come today. Thank you to Supervisor Baca's office for the food for the community as well. We appreciate that. We'd also like to thank Supervisor Baca for attending our events, for the fantastic clinic that he had at Kessler a few weeks ago, for coming to the senior event as well as donating the funds for that senior event, and bringing the people, the residents, poinsettias that day as well. So it was very lovely. So thank you. And thank you for his staff who are always so wonderful and present. And they work very hard to keep things going. We appreciate you guys.
I'll go next. I really don't have anything besides what I've already said. I love our community. We have a lot of people very involved. We appreciate that. And thank you guys for staying till the end. Thank you all for showing up.
Thank you, and thank you for everybody that came out this evening. I just want to talk about, it's the end of the year, and I have to just give a big shout out to Supervisor Baca and his staff. And you guys have made us feel so, appreciated. Thank you. And the things that you've done and the improvements that you've made, and since we moved here to the new Ayala Park. And every month there's something that just makes things better and better and better. And I just feel like by you allowing us to have these amenities like on the widescreen and the monitors up front and stuff and all the other things, you really make us feel like we're welcome and we're doing something important here, and not just showing up and listening to the public. And so I really, I want to express that to you, Jessica, and also to the rest of the supervisor's staff. And he has really shown such a big concern for Bloomington and heartfelt concern. And I know he worked here at one point in his life, and he obviously has a warm spot for Bloomington in his heart, and it shows. And we're the beneficiaries of that, and the entire community is the beneficiaries of that. So, I just wanted to put that on the record at the end of the year, and thank you and everybody for all the great work that you guys have done and enabling us to, like you said, feel appreciated and feel like we have, I don't know, what wealth, we're worth to be up here and giving our input for the supervisor. And I know he takes our input very seriously, and so, I have so much respect for him and all you guys. So just wanted to put that out there. And thank you to everybody in attendance and our regulars, Dave Jane. Thank you for all your input throughout the year. It's invaluable. You have a history here in Bloomington that most of us don't have. You have knowledge that, I've learned a lot from you, things that have happened over the years that I did not know. And so thank you for that. And thank you to my colleagues. And if you don't know, all these ladies up here that sit here with me, they are just invaluable to our community, the things they do. They're so involved in community activities and organizations in this community. And this community would have a hard time functioning without these women up here. They give so much of themselves. And this is just a very small fraction of what they do. So thank you to my colleagues, and, you know, hopefully everybody have a Merry Christmas, a great New Year, and looking forward to next year as well. So thank you.
I just want to say thank you also to the supervisors, staff, and everything that he's done. You could see that there's like a huge impact in Bloomington since I've been living here. It's like so many improvements that are not unappreciated. I mean, we all appreciate them, and I'm sure the community has. And I know Bloomington is a work in progress. It has been for years, but it's coming along. Just want to say thank you for everybody that shows up every month and gives their input and, you know, lets us know what their concerns are and that we can get back to you. So just thank you for everything, and everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Don't forget, tomorrow bring a child or a pet toy to the Government Center for the open house for the Zabaca at 4:30 tomorrow. Ends 4:30 to 7. So thank you so much. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Teresa, and a second. Meeting is adjourned at 7:36 p.m. Thank you.